Do not take your children to go see Strays. I don't think people understood what this movie was. And there were some kids in my screening, which is just so awkward because all of those jokes just went right over their heads. Hey everyone, welcome back to Candid Cinema. I'm Amanda, otherwise known as AMX Indie Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. Today I will be reviewing Strays. I just want to thank Universal for sending me to an advanced screening of this movie. I love dogs so much. I do not own a dog, however, but all of my friends do have dogs and they have just such a special connection with me. So I love my puppers, I love my doggos. I've always loved dogs. And I'm like, how could I not go watch this? Now, first I watched the trailer and it was very unexpected seeing it ahead of, one of my other screenings. And I didn't expect to laugh just by the trailer. So I was really excited for this. I'm like, let's get more comedies. Let's get people to the theater to watch more comedies, and this is one of them. So Will Ferrell lends his voice, Jamie Foxx lends his voice, and I think that this movie is the definitive dog movie. And I know it is rated R, I think. I think it's 14A here in Canada. It's definitely an R rating in America because this was... Oh my God, do not take your children, please. Do not take your children to go see Strays. I don't think people understood what this movie was. And there were some kids in my screening, which is just so awkward because all of those jokes just went right over their heads. This is a raunchy dog comedy. It's like if it was super bad for dogs, or if it was, just one of those comedies for dogs, like The Hangover for dogs. It's that level of humor, which I loved. It was just so fun from beginning to end. And I'm going to tell you why this voice cast really worked for me. The reason why is that Lil Reggie is voiced by Will Ferrell. And his owner is Will Forte. And Will Forte plays a very horrible person who doesn't want Reggie. So we have something here, even though it is a comedy, they're also showing people treat their animals poorly. They treat their pets poorly. And that's the other message here. So you get to see the perspective, obviously from the dog's perspective. And I really, really like that because no one really addresses the animal abuse. And I think that's really important that they showed that here with the humor, the very dark humor. But Reggie is just living his life. He loves his life. He plays a game with his owner. So Will Forte, who plays Doug, would throw the tennis ball into the middle of a field and drive off. So Reggie's like, Doug calls me all of these names. He's just sitting at home and he treats me so poorly. And the whole reason why he treats him poorly is that his ex-girlfriend found out that he was cheating because of Reggie and she leaves him. But obviously Doug takes the dog, even though he doesn't want the dog. So he's been trying to get rid of him this whole time. But Reggie sees it as more as a game, which is so heartbreaking. And the reason why it's so grounded is because Will Ferrell taps into his Buddy the Elf voice for Reggie. And it just, oh my goodness, my heart completely shattered and I felt for him. And on top of that, they usually do these live action dog films and their mouth does not align with the dialogue being said. This worked incredibly well. It wasn't that distracting, and I think it's because you have the comfort of Will Ferrell. You have the comfort of Jamie Foxx, and I like that because you're familiar with these actors. You're not entirely concentrating on the way that their mouth is moving. Randall Park is in this and Isla Fisher is in this, and they lend their voices. And I think that they did an incredible job. And I think that technology has been advanced to the point where you can have them moving their lips and match the dialogue. I thought that it worked really well here. It wasn't that distracting. You felt like these dogs were human in this case, and they're partying and they have to go on this adventure because at one point Doug throws the ball really, really far and he just jets off. And obviously Reggie is by himself and he becomes a stray. becomes a stray, and he meets Bug, who's played by Jamie Foxx. And this is where it gets hilarious, because Reggie doesn't curse at all. And then you have Jamie Foxx, who is just throwing every single curse word out there, and it is hilarious. Jamie Foxx has impeccable comedic timing, and I really like the Jamie Foxx Will Ferrell dynamic. Even though we didn't physically see them, their voices were fantastic. They worked incredibly well, bounced off of each other. I think this just allowed them to have some fun too with the voice work. And even like Isla Fisher, the same thing in Randall Park. It was just so hilarious. It was funnier than I had anticipated. There are some really brutal graphic moments in this movie. Like, if you know, if you're not fans of like those like hardcore rated R comedies, then I don't advise you watching Strays. That's just me. I love this stuff. It's hilarious. It's on the border of like, oh my God, why would you even do this on screen? There are two needle drops in particular that I howled. I was crying of laughter because I'm like, who came up with this? How did this happen? But I really enjoyed Strays for what it was. It is the definitive dog movie. I think they covered a lot of bases. They all had their own backstory, and they showed, more importantly, that you have to just take care of your pets. You really do. And, you know, each dog has its own journey. That's what they showed here. And I just really liked that they addressed that issue, because I think it's a really big issue, and they covered all the bases of like what dogs think about, which made it even more hilarious. I really like this. I'm sitting at like, you know, I want to give it a 4 out of 5, but I know that like there's some aspects that I was like really shaken by. Okay, we went there. The script isn't the strongest, but it's all about this journey. It's a good time. It's a good laugh. I'm giving Strays a 3.5 out of 5. People should go watch it. Just don't watch it with your kids. Please, this is not a kid's movie. It's the same level of like, do not take your children to go see Sausage Party. Like, that's where we're sitting at here. Like, do not take your kids to watch Strays, but you guys go watch it. I think it's a pretty good comedy for the summer. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Let me know what other raunchy comedies you guys enjoyed that maybe other people didn't. I like to know, you know, different types of humor, and, you know, obviously comedy's personal, so let me know your favorites down below in the comments. You guys can always follow me over at AMX NDA Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd and Threads. And if you guys want to help me grow this wonderful community, you can find out ways to do that in the bio below. I'll catch you guys next time. Keep watching movies.